was two Mary that appeared in Matthew. One Mary, we don't know who she is. So we will ask, then who is the other Mary? Then Luke will come and tell you that the other Mary is the mother of what? Of James. So now they are telling you the other Mary's name, who she is. And then someone also came with what? Sweet spices. And her name is what? Salome. So Salome came. So if we ask someone brought spicy, we must know the person. So if it wasn't Salome, it was Joanna. Joanna's name would have appeared there. If it was not Joanna and not another woman's name, that woman's name was appeared there. But it was all the women that went to tell the disciples what has happened that were there. When Salome was there, when Joanna was there, when Mary Magdalene was there, when Mary the mother of Joseph was there, all of them were present in the tomb. But there's some people did certain things that the writer want to point on that this is the woman that brought the spicy. And there were two Mary that appeared there. One is the mother of Joseph, and one is the one that demons were filled with, and Jesus cast the demon. So they want to even let you know the Marys that are there, that this Mary possessed demons and was cast. The demons was cast out. And this Mary too was the mother of Joseph. So Mary, it's not contradiction. It's not contradicting. It's just telling you exactly what they did. Let me give an example for those that maybe they will not get the picture. At least three of us came to the hall. We have not started shooting. I came here first. When I came here, I was holding two books in my hands. But we have 30 people in this room here. 30 people here. But I was the first to come into the studio room with three books. Then as I was sitting here, you came in with bottle of water to give to me. Malice, at the end of the day, we did a lot of things here. So when they are interrogating me, they will ask me my own, what exactly did I came to do in Lee's Media? Collectively, we all did what? We did a program with the cameraman, with the editor, with the host and the reader. Collectively, we were all in the building doing something. But individually, I have to narrate my own story. I came, when I entered the destination, I greet Tony. After I greet Tony, I went to sit down. I was preparing a note. After some few hours, they called me to come inside. So I walked inside when nobody was inside. I came with 3 books. And then when I was sitting there, Marley's also came in. So the moment Marley's comes in, Marley's story appears in another gospel, in Luke. It continues. So Marley's also story is in that Luke. My own is in John. Marley's story is in Luke. So Marley's came with the water. It will not continue in Matthew. It will be written in Luke.
But why is it Matthew not continuing?
No, he's not continuing because he wants you to understand that there was an interrogation. And they really interrogated all the people that were there. It was not put together that
let's say that some, that doesn't mean that some came and left before some of the events happened.
It's not true. All of them were there. Let's go to Luke chapter 24 verse 10 again. Luke is telling you all of the women were present, but as I told you, 30 people are in this building. We are all here at the same time. But I was the first to come to the studio with my 3 books. Then you followed with water. So if they are going to hear my story, they will first ask me, how many books did you bring in the studio? I said 3. So my story will come. Then you, the host that came in with the water, your story will also appear in another version. So you have to connect it. So I've arranged it. So Luke is talking about God's general entered. Or Luke is talking about there were 2 women in Matthew 28. Then Mark chapter 16 says the 3 women, the names are not just appearing, they are appearing with a purpose. And what exactly they did. Malice, let me take you in. The first women were what? Matthew 28. It was which women? So when they went there, many women went there. But there were 2 Marys. So the writer said they have to know they were 2 Marys. Matthew 28. Let's see what the writer said there. The people have to know. It is knowledge in imparting. Know that there were 2 Marys. You must know. How many hosts were here today? It was only Marlies that is our host here. So we need to identify Marlies as our hosts in the program, not 2 hosts. So they were identifying the Marys. It's very important for you to know that there were many Marys that time. But among all the women that were in the tomb, there were 2 Marys. So Matthew said what?
Matthew, in the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn, towards the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see And Mary Magdalene.
Mary and Mary Magdalene. Someone will say, why did he not talk about all the women there and only spoke about 2? Because that purpose is to let you know that there were women in the tomb, but there were 2 women called Mary. And the writer wanted to know that there were 2 women called Mary. But you also ask that, who is the other Mary? Then the other gospel come to explain that the other Mary is who? In Mark chapter 16.
Yeah,
Let's go there.
Mother of James.
The mother of James. So every question that you ask, they give you answer. So that they were interrogating them. Who is even the other Mary that went with you guys? Oh, the mother of James. Then it's in another gospel. So when you are arranging it, how do you arrange it? You start from, they went to the tomb in huge numbers, and other women that their names are not mentioned. But in those women that were in the tomb, there were some 2 women that were having the same name called Mary. But one Mary is the mother of what? So first you know that there were 2. There were not 3 Marys. There were not 4 Marys. There were not 5 Marys. There were only 2. So put that in mind. Now the other Mary, we don't know who she is. But the other Mary, we know she's called Mary Magdalene. But the other one, we don't know who she is. Then another writer will write again. The other Mary is so and so and so. But when they went there too, someone also went there with spices. Now who is that woman? Then they will mention the name of the woman too. So they ask them questions, and what the answer they give, if the Spirit of God agree, they put it in there. So you have to connect it. God did this to expose this message. It is a revelation from God to debunk Islam, debunk atheist knowledge and common sense knowledge. And I'm putting it into a book, and I'm printing it there for people to know that don't joke with the scriptures and say it is not making sense because you are not making sense and you don't want to learn. I've made it into a book, and I'll read some parts of it before we leave here. So you see it now. It's not contradictory. It's not contradictory at all. Now Abraham said again that there were some places they were God. There were some places they were not God. There were some places the angel spoke to them outside. There was some place the angel spoke to them inside. There was some place there was earthquake. There was some place there was no earthquake. Malice. God being so good, God has blessed me with knowledge. Not only preaching the gospel, I am an editor. Real editor. Malice, when you are editing, we have what we call layers. And we have the main video. You put the main video to the editing app. Then you bring layers.
Okay.
Layers may be the left camera, the right camera, and then maybe the moving camera. You put all these 3 videos there. So when we are shooting, one is taken out from the left, one is taken out from the right.
And then
the rotating camera is moving. So when you get that, you have 4 videos. 4 videos. Left camera, right camera, rotating camera, and the main camera is taking the long. So the main long, it will be the first in the editing, and then the rotating will follow, and then the left to follow, and then the right to follow. What do you do? When you are doing preaching and I'm preaching, then I want the rotation to come. What I do is that I cut where I am preaching small, then I allow where the camera was rotating to take that space. So what I do is that I delete the leading camera, that space. Then I put in the rotating camera in that space. So when it gets to that place, you will not see the main camera, the leading camera. No, you will see rotation camera there. Maybe sometime when you are watching movie, you see the camera is taking from the sky. That is the camera from the sky. It's not the main camera. The main camera is taking them from long. Sometimes you take them from the side and take them from the other side. So Malis, you cannot put the 2 story in the editing at the same time. You must remove the main video. If you want to put in rotation, you must remove the main video. If you want to put in the left camera one, you must remove some of the video. You must remove the first one, the second one, the third one, and leave the 4th one there. You can't keep all the 4 there. It will not work. So what the writer did is that you are supposed to put all the gospels together and make sense of it. This was how it was narrated. Put it together and understand what is written there. So Malis, I'm telling you that not everyone can understand these things. The way the thing happened, I sat down and I said, Spirit of God, I'm going to talk about resurrection. This thing is very confusing. What is going on there in the Bible? What is there? Please help me. And then the knowledge started coming that I'm going to help you. The things that are recorded there, some of them don't start in Matthew. I said, what? And he showed me. He said, some of them start from John. Then it comes to Luke. Then it comes to Mark. They come to Matthew. So you think that it is Matthew that is the first one. So you are starting from Matthew. You get it wrong. And man, when it reaches, don't touch me. They don't touch me. You laugh. They don't touch me. That Abraham was saying, I even laughed myself when God opened my eyes to see the revelation. Do you know what happened? When they saw Jesus Christ resurrected, they came to hold him. All the women that were there, no, not only one woman, no. The women that were there, they all came to hold. They did not just touch him. They held Jesus. Now what happened is that after they held Jesus, the writer didn't continue what really happened there. The writer paused the story there and went to continue in John. And John said, don't touch me. How do you know what's happening for Jesus? He said, don't touch me. It's in Matthew. When they held him, when they saw him and worshiped him, he said, don't touch me, because they were holding him. Don't touch me. I must ascend to my Father and your Father, my God and your God. But Abraham did not have the knowledge. So when he saw, don't touch me here, and he saw they touch him here, he said it's contradictory, because here he said don't touch me, but here they touch him. He didn't understand. Common sense cannot understand scriptures. I'm putting it to you again. You see it? Why did the writer pause there and then allow the other gospel to continue the story? Because of this day. Because God knows this day will come. He will put Abraham ben Moshe to shame. He will put Islam to shame and atheists to shame. He knows it. So he intentionally arranged the gospel that way. Because everything they did was the Spirit of God. Malice, how will you know this? What I just told you, how will you know? My brother, let's check that place. Then we can continue again. Because I have not given a verse yet. I want people to learn today. So there's a plenty. This one I've just jumped. Because this one is one of the things that he was hitting her. That's why I jumped. It's plenty. So let's see. They don't touch me. No. So let's go to Matthew chapter. This one, Matthew chapter 28, verse 1 is the first one. Matthew 28, verse 9. Malice, please, are you paying attention?
Mm-hmm.
Matthew 28, verse 9.
Matthew 28, 9.
Uh-huh.
And as they went to tell his disciples, behold, Jesus met them.
Jesus met them.
Saying, all hail.
Oh,
And they came and held him by the feet.
They held him. They didn't touch him. They hold him. They grab him. You can go and check the word. They grab him. They hold him. And Jesus said what? And they did what? After they grabbed him, they did what?
By the feet and worshipped him.
By the feet. And they did what?
Worshipped him.
They worship him. Then the writer stopped there. What continues? Let's read. What continues?
Okay.
What continues?
Then said Jesus unto them, be not afraid. Go tell my brethren that they go into Galilee.
That is not the statement Jesus said after they touch him. That is not the statement. Look at what the writer did. Go to John. Let me show Abraham something.
Okay.
You think you are smart? You see what the Bible is doing to you?
John.
Why would the writer leave the story there?
That's what we.
For you to know that the scriptures were inspired by the Holy Spirit, you don't need common sense. You need the Spirit of God to bring it to understanding. So the writer, Jesus says something, but the writer didn't put it in Matthew. It's in John. You can only know it when the Spirit reveals it. Let's go to John.
Jesus said unto her.
Jesus said unto her,
touch me not.
Touch me. You see how the story narrated itself. Touch me not. Who touched him? Someone touched him in Matthew. And that person are the women that were there, that Luke mentioned in Luke 24 verse 10. When they all saw Jesus, they went to hold him by the feet and they worship him.
Okay.
Jesus Christ responding to them was not put in Matthew.
So they held him before he said, touch me not.
Before he said, no, I must ascend to my Father. So that's why I didn't continue with Matthew. It went to appear in the fourth gospel, which is in John chapter 20, verse 17. So if you don't have the knowledge, you say it is contradictory. Yes, say touch me. Yes, say didn't touch me. No. He said that. Jesus said what?
For I am not yet ascending to my Father.
I have not yet ascended to my Father.
But go to my brethren.
And
say unto them.
And go and tell them.
I ascend unto my Father.
I ascend unto my Father.
And your Father.
And your Father.
And to my God.
And to my God. So you see it. I said I'll come and treat the ascension one day. And you will know that when Jesus returned into his power, something happened in heaven. And I'll come and treat why even God must die. It's three topic. Why even God must die
to save
mankind. The ascension. Jesus Christ, when he died and resurrected, he went to heaven. He went to do something. And the reason he went to heaven is connected to Satan being thrown to mankind. So his 3 topic. Why Jesus said I must ascend to my Father is linked to Satan being casted to mankind. That is why you must ascend. So you don't know, humble yourself and learn. Even me that is a man of God, I have to consult malice. When Abraham was teaching this thing here, I didn't use my common sense. I went there and said, Spirit of God. Do you know I know that is the Spirit of God that spoke to me? Malice, let me confess this.
Okay.
I didn't know that the gospel, it's not all of them that start from Matthew chapter 1. Or some of them that start from Luke. I didn't know it. I've been preaching almost all this year. I didn't know this. But when I praise the Spirit of God and I want to go and talk about the resurrection Abraham did and debunk his claim, the Spirit of God said, open your eyes. Look into the scriptures. Some of them start from John. Some of them start from Matthew.
How did it appear? Was it something like a trance? Or you had to go into a deep sleep?
Malice, what happened to Peter? Sometimes when you are there, you think about the thing.
Okay, you are not asleep.
No, I'm not asleep.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it.
So it's like a trance.
Yes, I want to get answers to the thing, but I don't have the knowledge.
So you're thinking.
I'm just thinking, what does it mean? What does it mean?
Okay.
As I'm doing what does it mean?
Yourself
What does it mean? Then the knowledge will just drop into my head.
Okay.
That go and check it. It starts from John.
Okay.
It didn't start from.
Like a tiny voice speaking to you.
It's speaking to me. It just dropped.
You are awake.
But
I'm
awake.
Conscious.
What makes me know that it's not me is that I don't have the answer. I can stay 30 minutes.
You won't get it.
I will not get it, and I'll be searching 30 minutes, and I'll be there looking at the scripture. Sometimes I get exhausted and say, what is this? So as I'm still insisting that I have to know what it means, then I get the answer. So look at how I got the dawn. How many people can know this? That the story starts from the John chapter 20. That she wake up in the dark. She went into the tomb in the dark. But that darkness that he's talking about, it is the dawn darkness. That's what Matthew said in the dawn. It is the dawn darkness. And in the dawn, there is a light that appears in the sky, the small light. And that light is a sign of the sun rising. That's why Mark said, when they went there, the sun was rising. But everything happened in the morning. So you have in the morning here, you have dark here, you have dawn here, you have sunrise here. Then you put it together for me to understand. You think what I'm doing, I'm against the church? I'm not against the church. I am defending the church. I am an apologist. And my job is to defend the foundation of the church. The building can collapse because of false men of God, but the foundation can be preserved. And that is what I'm preserving. Even if we are not able to build it in my time, the next generation will come and build it. And that's what I'm doing. So I don't care about the building. What I care is the foundation. You see the picture now?
Whew.
I don't care about everything. Hey, and what he's doing, we are not one. We are not one. The church is not one. There's some people, they watch my video, they even insult me. They say they are men of God. Why? Because I'm a threat to them. I'm a threat. So it's so sad that you take the name of God and then you know you are a criminal. And you gather innocent people who think they are there for salvation. In their mind, they are looking for salvation. Malice. One day na gregu. You think you can deceive the people forever? One day they'll wake up, and when they wake up, you saw how many people went with Abraham. More than thousands. Now the pastors were afraid. They showed the church that we are not foolish. They left in their numbers to follow Abraham and Moshe. If Abraham was really saying the truth, by this time he had have collapsed 99% of the church. The reason Abraham didn't survive, and he still have common sense there, but he didn't survive in destroying things in the church, is because his message is not standing on the truth. If he is really having the truth, the way Abraham rise malice, it's not a joke in Ghana, yo. Every area you go, people are talking about common sense. Yeah. Even my own area, my landlady, his sons, they were coming to me to bring Abraham Moshe's argument against me. It was not a joke in Ghana here. It would have crushed the church, but there was a truth in the church. So he only crushed the fake ones, but the foundation, he couldn't touch it. He could not touch the foundation. So my work is that I will come back and lay the bricks one after the other. And how do I do it? By coming to debunk his claims. I can't go after Abraham with cutlass.
No.
It doesn't matter what lies he says or he insult God. It's not about cutlass. It's about debunking the claims. The same way he led the people astray, use the same method to bring them back. That's why I'm here. So man, this is the story. Look at what the writer did. went to continue from John 17:12. But Jesus was speaking in Matthew chapter. Why didn't he continue the story? Why didn't the writer continue the story in Matthew 28? That when they touched Jesus, Jesus said, "Don't touch me." And he stopped there and let Jesus say something else. Then now he went to John chapter 20. And then he explained that Jesus said, "Touch me not." Malice, do you know that in John, when I even come to the angels, you'll be shocked. The angels, when you'll be shocked.
We've not even come there.
The angels, when you'll be shocked. The way the thing happened, it was not only one angel. Oh. One angel appeared here, two angels appeared here, another two angels appeared again. Malice, do you know that when the women, they went to report the things to the disciples,
Okay.
Mary came back with the women. The women came back with the two disciples. And then when they came and didn't find Jesus Christ, they went home. And then Mary was the only one there crying, weeping. And Jesus appeared to them. Jesus appeared to them. But you read another version, it didn't state what really happened for Jesus to appear. He just said they came out of the tomb. And then as they were going, Jesus appeared.
Okay.
But they were going where? When they came out of the tomb and they were going, then Jesus appeared to them. No. Mary, they went to tell the disciples about the incident. And the disciples came, but they didn't see anything in the cave. So they went home, but Mary Magdalene stayed there in John chapter 20 and was crying. That is the story of that place. So Mary Magdalene was crying, and then Jesus appeared to Mary. But Mary was not the only woman in that place. There were other women, but she was the first to see Jesus. So the writer said, who saw Jesus first? It's another question. When Jesus appeared, who saw her and him first? They said it was Mary Magdalene. But the other women also saw Jesus or not? They also saw Jesus. So, my brother, let's go to the angel. Then I'll go to the miracle. Fast. I think, where's the angel? Okay, the angel. Now, Matthew chapter 28. The angel.
Matthew 28:5. Mm-hmm. And the angel answered. And the angel answered. And she said unto the woman, Fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen. And he said, Come see the place where the Lord lay.
Now let's start from here. The angel said they should come and see the place. Man, when I put this together, you marvel. The angel said they should come into the place where Jesus was laid. As they entered into the tomb, they saw another angel sitting at the side of where Jesus was laid. That one continued in what? In Mark chapter 16. Let's go. So the angel invited them in.
Okay.
The one that sat on the stone, was the one that invited them in. So when they went in, they saw another angel sitting by the side. So let's go.
The tomb.
Yes, so let's go.
Matthew 16.
Matthew chapter 16. I didn't put the this in verse, this thing there. So
find
it for me.
Okay, let me start from 4. Matthew 16:4. And when they looked, they saw that the stone was rolled away, for it was very great. And entering into the sepulchre.
So the angel first one invited them in. Matthew 28, the angel said, Come in. And now they entered in Mark. Mark continued the story by telling you, when they entered, I'm the one that arranged it that way. If I didn't rearrange it, you don't get it. When they entered, they saw what?
They saw a young man.
They saw a young man
sitting on the right side.
On the right side.
Clothed in a long white garment.
Clothed in a long garment.
And they were affrighted.
They were affrighted.
And when he said unto them.
Okay, so now they were frightened. Yeah. Now let's move to Luke 24. I think this one I wrote something about 3 to 5. 3 to 5. So before you read the Luke 24, Mali, you see, when they went to the tomb, let me address this before you. That I've already arranged in my head, so let me put it down. When they went to the tomb, they were now asking themselves, how are we going to remove that stone from the tomb and go and anoint the body of Christ? So all the gospels, one recorded when they went, they were asking themselves question, how they will get the stone off. And then the other one recorded that they looked and they saw that the stone was removed. But the other version says that they find out that the stone was removed. Malice, you looked, you must found what you look. If I am looking at something, I can only discover what I have found.
Okay.
You cannot discover what you have not found. So another version said, another gospel said, continue by saying that when they looked, they found out that the stone was rolled. And the other one was telling you how they got there and what they were talking about before the stone was rolled. So they were lamenting about how they would remove the stone. And the other one said the stone was taken off the tomb. Was it taken off? Yes, it was removed from the tomb. Even though it was rolled from the tomb, it was still removed from the tomb for space to be there for them to enter. Then now, the angel that removed the this thing, story came in. Because the angel came to tell them that he is the one that removed the stone. And they should come in. So I just narrated from where the story came from before the angel invited them in. You see, but all these stories are in the four gospel. If I don't connect it together, you would think it is contradicting. But it's the same story.
Just because it's not arranged in
it's not arranged, you will not get it. But you see how I just arranged it. They went there first and they were asking themselves, how are we going to remove the stone? Then when they looked, the stone was rolled. They didn't know. I'll ask you that the stone was rolled. Someone rolled the stone.
Yeah. Of course.
Then he said, who rolled the stone? They said an angel came to us and was sitting on the stone. So it was the angel that told us that he came from heaven and came to roll it. So the testimony of the angel to came in that he was the one that rolled the stone. And then the other verse says he took the stone off the tomb. Was the stone taken? Yes. It was removed from the tomb for them to enter. So now the angel said, come in. And then they came in. And when they went in, they saw an angel sitting down there. And now look, you get it. You say you get it that 3 verse 5. Yeah. 3 to 5. Let's see.
Luke 24:3.
Look.
And they entered in and found not the body of the Lord Jesus.
So now Luke is telling you that when they entered in, an angel was Mark said an angel was sitting down there. Yeah. Now Luke is focusing on there was nobody there. When we entered in, what did we see in there? Nobody was there. But Luke was the one that was continuing the story by telling you that when they entered, there was nobody in the tomb. But the first angel said in Matthew that come and enter the tomb. And then they saw another angel sitting by the right side. And then when they entered the tomb, Jesus' body was not there. And that is not in Matthew. That is not in Mark. That is in what? Luke. So let's go. The body was not there.
And it came to pass, as they were much perplexed, thereabout, behold.
So this one continued with the story that they entered. He invited them in. You get it? He invited them in, and now they've entered. So now they entered, they've seen another angel, another 2 angels. So now, how do you know that these angels appeared in what time? The verse says, after all this has happened. Is that not what he said?
Yeah, and it came to pass.
And it came to pass. So I checked the other words to break down, then it came to pass. He said, after all this thing has occurred, after all this thing has happened, it's the same breaking down of the same word. So something really took place. What took place? When they went there, they were lamenting how to get the stone off. And then they looked and the stone was removed. And then an angel came to tell them that they should come in. That angel was the one that removed the stone and was sitting on the stone. And he said they should come in. When they entered, they saw another angel sitting on the right side. And then when they entered, they didn't see any body of Jesus Christ. And it continued in Luke. Now, after all this has happened, another angels are coming to appear again. Now what happened? They were what? They were perplexed.
They were much perplexed.
They were puzzled or they wondered. That's the same word. They were puzzled or they wondered. For perplexed.
Behold.
2
men stood by them.
Another 2 men stood by them again.
In shining garments.
So these are, how many angels now? One sit on a stone and led them into the tomb. And when they went to the tomb, they saw another one sitting at the right side. Okay. And then they now saw another 2. After all those things has happened, another 2 also appeared to them again. And telling them what? When did the 2 angels appear? What did they tell them?
And as they were afraid.
And
bowed down their faces to the earth.
And they bowed down to their faces to the earth. They said to them.
Why seek ye the living among the dead?
Why seek the living among the dead?
He is not here.
But
is risen.
Remember
how he spoke unto you when he was yet in Galilee, saying, the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and the 3rd day rise again. And they remembered his words and returned from the sepulchre and told all these things unto the 11.
Now there's another version that says they told nobody. I think that one too. This one is Luke. We are reading, eh?
Yeah, Luke.
It might be Mark. That says they told no one. And Abraham said here, he said they told no one. And the other place you said they told someone, he didn't read it. It should continue. They really went to tell them. When they told no one, look, when you go to cemetery, let me ask you, Marlies, do you only see one tomb in a cemetery?
No.
Like one tomb standing in the whole land? No. There are many land, but you see one tomb here, the other tomb here. So if they are not in the tomb, they are outside the tomb.